Okay, so today we're going to look at lists in HTML. Let's start with our basic HTML document. And you can see I've already saved this as lists.html and have it here in my browser, but there's nothing in it yet. Okay, so you can always make a list in HTML, right? So we could list favorite foods. And that's fine, but if I was like, oh, actually between cookies and cake, I want to add a different item, right? I don't know what I call that then, item 2.5. Okay, so then I have to renumber everything in my list, right? I need to delete this and renumber everything. And you could imagine having a list with hundreds of items. If you want to move something in the list, if I decide, oh, I'm going to put this in alphabetical order, I have to renumber everything. Fortunately, HTML has some nice ways for you to do lists. There's 3 different types of lists that you can do. Ordered lists, like this one, where you have numbers. Unordered lists, which are bulleted lists. And definition lists, which really aren't used that often, but I'm going to show you how to do them anyway, so we can be complete. So the ordered lists and the unordered lists work in very much the same way. Instead of numbering your items, you put the LI tag at the beginning. That stands for list item. Again, this is a tag, as many that we've seen, that you often just see by itself, sitting there. That puts in the bullet. To be correct, you would want to put the end tag at the end of each item, which we'll do, but oftentimes you won't see the end tag. It works fine, but it's good practice to do it correctly. So this marks each item in our list, and then if we want to make an ordered list, a numbered list, you start that with the OL tag and you end it with the OL tag. So this is something that we haven't seen before, where we have one tag nested inside another tag. We have the OL tag that starts our ordered list, and then before that's closed, we have each of our list items. We actually have seen this with a lot of tags in that we always have the HTML tag that's ended at the very end, and inside that we have the body tag, and inside the body tag we have other tags. This is just a slightly different format. So we start our ordered list, we have each of our list items, and then we end our ordered list. I'm going to indent these just so it's a little nicer to see. If you remember, white space doesn't matter in HTML, so that's not going to affect the way that this looks. Okay, so we have a list item tag on each of these things. If we save that, come over here and reload it. Let's make that a little bigger. But you can see it's put nice numbered items for each of the things on our list. And if I change the order, so let's say I want to put it in alphabetical order. So I can put cake up here. And then the rest of that looks good. And save it. Here's our original list, and when I reload, you can see the numbering stays consistent. All I had to do was move the items, and it automatically updates the numbering for me. Okay, so as you can see, this is giving us a numbered list. There's different ways that you can do this, though. You could do Roman numerals, uppercase or lowercase. You could do letters, A, B, C, D. The way that we do that, if we come back here, is in the OL tag, you add the type attribute, and you set that equal to the first letter or number of the style you want. So if we did a capital A, that would give us capital letters. So let's save that. Type equals capital A. And if we reload, now our list is in capital letters. You can do a lowercase a to get lowercase letters. You can do a capital I to get Roman numerals. Let's take a quick look at that. If we reload, there we get Roman numerals. You can do a lowercase I to get lowercase Roman numerals, or you can do a 1 to get numbers like we got originally. You can also do nested lists here. So let's start with type equals, let's actually do Roman numerals, capital I. And then let's say under cake, I actually want to list some particular kinds of cake. So within that list item, I'm going to break that out. I'm going to put another list on the inside. So I'll start another OL tag, and I'll do type equals lowercase I. By default, you're always going to get numbers. It won't do like outline formatting like you might get in Word. So if I didn't specify a type, I would just get numbers here. I'm going to specify types. I have capital and then lowercase Roman numerals. And let's do chocolate cake and carrot cake. And I'll put in those end li tags since I remember. Okay, so this entire ordered list is inside the list item for cake. And what that's going to do is make a sublist for us that's indented. It's not indented because of any of the spacing here. It's indented just because it's a sublist. So if we save that and refresh, now you can see I have my sublist appearing. And it's showing up as lowercase Roman numerals because I specified the type. So that's how you do ordered lists, and that's really all there is to it. Now, unordered lists are bulleted instead of numbered, and you basically only have to change one thing. Instead of OL for ordered list, you do UL for unordered list. And of course, the types are different, so I'm going to delete that. But that's all that I have to change. I just make it UL instead of OL. And if I save that and refresh, now we get bullets instead of numbers. Notice that this is still a numbered list, because I didn't change that. I left that as an ordered list, and you can have ordered lists nested inside of unordered lists and vice versa. So there you go. I have an ordered list here, but my outside one is an unordered list. So as a default, we get these little bullets. There are different types of bullets that you can do. So just like in the ordered list, we can do type, and there's 3 options here. You can do disk. Looks about the same. You can do circle, and there we get open circles, or you could do square. And then we get squares. Those are your 3 options. Disk is what you get by default. It's the filled in circles. Circle will give you open circles. Square will give you squares, obviously. There are other ways to handle bullets that can get more sophisticated if you're using style sheets, which again we're going to do in the last week of this class, the last set of lessons. But just using HTML, those are the 3 options that you get. So these are the most common types of lists to use. I use these all the time: unordered lists and ordered lists. So for completeness, let's look at definition lists. Those start with the DL tag, which you might expect since our other ones are OL and UL. There are 2 parts to a definition list, though. It's designed to be something like a dictionary definition format. So there's the title, or you could think of it as the definition term that's being defined, and there's a description or a definition. So we have a DT for the definition term or title. And then there's the definition or the description with the DD tag. And these you do always have the start and the end tag, where the LI, you'll often see the end tag missing. Here you always see the DT and the DD parts. You can have multiple DTs and multiple DDs within the DL tag. I'll show you what this looks like here. So you can see the DT part is aligned just like normal text. The DD part is indented. That's all you get with this kind of formatting. Generally, this isn't used as much because there's easier ways to get an indent, which is basically all you get here. But if you want to have an indented block of text, a DD is one way to do that. So that's all we're going to do on the definition lists. The UL and the OL for the unordered and ordered lists is much more useful, I think. But there you go. Those are the 3 different types of lists that we have in HTML.